Martha Taylor was like any other busy professional. She worked as a customer service manager at a bustling logistics firm in downtown Chicago. Her mornings were usually a rush: snooze the alarm, hurried showers, skipped breakfasts, and a coffee to go. Her husband Daniel often teased her about her rushed tornado mornings, but Martha always had the same response: "Life waits for no one, Dan." Though raised in a religious home, Martha had gradually let go of the habit of praying in the morning. "God understands," she'd tell herself, opting to send up short, hurried prayers while commuting or dealing with office stress. She believed her days were already too jam-packed to include a prayer session. One Tuesday morning, everything seemed off. Her alarm didn't go off, and when she woke up, she was already 40 minutes behind schedule. A glance outside showed rain pouring down in torrents. "Great, just great," she muttered, scrambling to get ready. As she rushed out the door, she realized she had forgotten her umbrella. Her usual train was delayed, and when it finally arrived, it was so crowded she could barely stand. "What a mess," she thought, annoyed. By the time she reached her office, she was soaking wet, disheveled, and 15 minutes late. Her boss gave her a stern look as she hurried to her desk. The day spiraled further downward. A crucial client meeting didn't go well. Her boss berated her in front of colleagues, and a co-worker took credit for her ideas. By the end of the day, she was emotionally drained. The thought of going home was the only thing keeping her together. As Martha walked to the train station, still battling the rain, she noticed a man sitting on the curb, drenched and shivering. He held a small cardboard sign that read, "Lost everything. Need help. God bless." She hesitated. She was tired and frustrated. "I don't have time for this," she thought, but something tugged at her heart. Reaching into her purse, she handed him a $5 bill and said, "I hope this helps." The man looked up and said, "God bless you, ma'am. Don't forget to start your day with him. It makes all the difference." Martha froze. The words felt oddly personal, as though they were meant specifically for her. She hurried away, feeling unsettled but too weary to dwell on it. That night, Martha had a vivid dream. She was back in her childhood home, sitting at the breakfast table with her late grandmother. Her grandmother, a devout woman, was making pancakes and humming her favorite hymn. "Martha, sweetheart," her grandmother said, "you've forgotten the most important part of your mornings." "What do you mean, Grandma?" Martha asked. Her grandmother smiled warmly. "Prayer, child. It's not just about asking for things, it's about inviting God to guide you, protect you, and give you peace. A day without prayer is like walking into a battlefield without armor." Martha woke up startled. The dream lingered in her mind, and she couldn't shake the feeling that it was more than just her subconscious at work. The next morning, Martha decided to try something different. Instead of snoozing her alarm, she got up early, brewed a cup of tea, and sat down with her Bible. She prayed, not just for herself, but for her family, co-workers, and even the man she had seen on the curb. As she finished her prayer, she felt a strange sense of calm, something she hadn't experienced in a long time. She left for work earlier than usual, umbrella in hand, and caught an earlier, less crowded train. At the office, things started to change. Her boss apologized for his harshness the day before, and the client she had thought was lost emailed her with a promising follow-up. Even her co-worker, who had taken credit for her ideas, came to her desk and admitted he felt guilty. Martha was stunned. Coincidence? She wondered. Over the next few weeks, Martha made prayer a daily habit. She noticed subtle but powerful changes in her life. Her days still had challenges, but she felt better equipped to handle them. She found herself being more patient, kind, and focused. One morning, as she prayed, she remembered the man on the curb. Feeling compelled, she packed an extra lunch and set out early to find him. To her surprise, he was still there, but this time he was holding a Bible. She handed him the lunch and said, "You reminded me of something important a few weeks ago. Thank you." The man smiled and replied, "God always uses the least likely people to deliver his messages. Keep praying. It'll change your life." Not every day was perfect. One particularly stressful week, Martha found herself tempted to skip her morning prayers. I'll do it later, she thought. But that day turned out to be chaotic. A flat tire, a heated argument with Daniel, and a major error in a work report. By the time she got home, she was exhausted and frustrated. Reflecting on the day, she realized she hadn't prayed that morning. She dropped to her knees and prayed earnestly. Lord, I see now how much I need you every day. Forgive me for taking your presence for granted. Martha became an advocate for starting the day with prayer. She shared her testimony with friends and colleagues, encouraging them to make time for God. Her life wasn't perfect, but it was filled with peace and purpose. She learned that prayer wasn't just a ritual, it was a lifeline, a source of strength, and a way to align her day with God's will. Through her journey, Martha discovered why it's vital to pray before starting the day. Prayer didn't change her circumstances, it changed her perspective, giving her the strength to face each day with faith and confidence. And now, every morning, as she sips her tea and bows her head, she remembers her grandmother's words. A day without prayer is like walking into a battlefield without armor.